All right, so my next speaker is a close friend of mine for a long time, Vikrant, huh? I think the first time we met is like way back in US on one of the Magento event, I think.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, that's correct. It was, I think, Meet Magento, New York. How are you doing? Great to be here.
Good. Yes, thank you to be here, to see you here. So I'm further ado, I'm just gonna give you the stage to introduce yourself directly.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. I would start with my screen sharing. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, your screen is good.
Perfect. Thank you. So, hi everyone. It feels really very great to be part of Meet Magento Indonesia, though I know it's a virtual event. And pardon me for not looking at you. It's all the virtual world have created two faces. The one is hi everyone. My camera is here. My screen is here. So pardon me for not looking at you and not responding to you, but please feel free to ask any questions that you have. So great to be part of Meet Magento Indonesia. This is the first time. I know I was actually going to be part of it in 2018, but I could not due to some reasons. But yeah, nevertheless, here I am. So I'll start with an introduction about myself. My name is Vikrant Shukla. I work as a business solution architect for Magento inside Adobe. I work out of India region, and I'm currently handling the complete APAC region, yeah, which also includes the Southeast Asian region and also support the EMEA region at times. I have been working with Magento since its beta version, so I share the stage with Muladi and few of the others who have been doing Magento since almost 10 or 12, 13 plus years now. I work with different Magento meetup groups in India to help promote the Magento community inside India, and also have been a global speaker in different Meet Magento events. I'm a keen learner. I am someone who is very optimistic about Magento and very vocal about Magento and its growth. And apart from work, I am proud father of one human baby, human baby, and I have got 4 furry babies, which I am very proud of. I I also like to call myself, and I would actually say this: the credit goes to the community. They also call me as a super management for my dedication for this community and the way I want to contribute back to the community. Here are my social handles. Please feel free to reach out to me for anything if you believe I can help you with. And just one caution: all the things shared in this presentation are my own views, nor do not represent the views of my employer. With that, I begin with to share with you the headless commerce, or let's say the experience-driven commerce. In today's world, the world has changed a lot in last 6 to 8 months time. So now online commerce acceleration has become very important for any brand, and we know that there we have seen multi-million dollar companies which were based out of retail shops only getting shut down in a day or two due to the COVID reason. Online commerce acceleration has been at its topmost success phase due to the COVID. I think that is the only blessing that we have got from COVID so far, if we talk in terms of the commerce industry. With this growth of commerce, the personalization has come into play. Now everyone wants a personalized content, personalized commerce, and that is where the experience driven commerce comes into play, because you have to make sure that your customer is not juggling with all the requirements that he needs while he is sitting at his home and struggling with many other things. The business trends have changed, the customer expectations have changed. Now it's more about the not setting the it's not about meeting the customer expectation, it's about setting the expectation and then fulfilling those expectations with speed and agility, and ensuring that while you are doing the customer expectation is being fulfilled, you are ensuring that you are also looking at the growth or the scalability of your business. Seamless collaboration. See, with this kind of a phase wherein the commerce is growing a lot, and we are going into a lot of virtual things. There has to be seamless collaboration between different touch points, the physical touch points, the virtual touch points, the delivery touch points, and all of these touch points should be frictionless so that the customer do not face any kind of friction while producing the while putting the order. And that is why the importance of headless and the importance of experience driven commerce is at its most prime now. All the business that are working on the commerce channel, it's utmost important for them to understand how they can create this frictionless journey for their customer using headless mechanisms and using the experience driven commerce. With that, I start the journey of our customer. So now the customer, there are different touch points using which the customer can produce an order. The touch points now have become social commerce. I was hearing my friend Matthews from Dot Digital earlier, and he mentioned that that social commerce is at its rise. The reason is why the game has changed. The rules of the game have changed, and people are behaving according to the changed rules. The customer could buy from anywhere, and that is where that is what the that is the flexibility a customer wants. And that is where the idea of headless commerce and the idea of experience driven commerce goes at its prime. Again, as I was saying, headless, this term is at its peak of hype. It's kind of a, if you take it in a graph, and this is a this is from Gartner's study, a Gartner hype cycle study for digital commerce 2019. If you see, it's at its prime. So everyone wants to know about headless commerce. What is headless commerce? How do we get headless commerce? How we go ahead and leverage from headless commerce? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? What is the method of adopting it? And I'm going to be touching about some of those points um, during this session. While in a virtual world, I would have really loved to interact with you all, but in a virtual world it becomes very hard to do an interaction. And that is why I would request you to put your questions as much as you can so that we can take it at the end. So what is headless commerce? See, one more thing, in my slides you will find a lot of literature. I'll actually request you all to go ahead and read those literature while I go ahead and explain it. So what is headless commerce? See, in headless commerce, the front head or the customer touch point is not fixed. It is something that you can create. It is not binded with your backend. So you are actually creating a free backend non-binded head, which can be any touch point for the customer. So in this case, you can have a separate head for consumer coming from your smartphones. You can have a separate head for consumer coming from your smartwatches. And then you can have a separate head for consumer going into your retail store, which is kind of a POS system. And all of those talking to a single backend interaction using APIs. So that gives you a lot of flexibility and to your customer and ease to move from one touch point to other and make it easy for them to understand how they can purchase. So as I was saying, the head could be anything. Head could be the PWA, head could be the marketplace, head could be the iOS, IoT devices, head could be the CMS, or any touch point. You can have your commerce engine sit behind, and you can actually feed your POS system using that commerce engine via APIs and GraphQLs, and even that is called an headless commerce. So we need to understand, and I'll just try to demystify this term while my presentation goes on, and you will hear a lot of things about it. So Magento is a very powerful solution. We all know it. Using Adobe Sensei, it's become even more powerful in terms of the recommendations and everything. And GraphQL have added another layer to the dimension wherein it now making an headless commerce becomes much easier for you. One important call out: headless is not microservice. So during my talk with many people, I have realized that there is a misconception around it, that the people believe that headless is kind of microservice. It's not actually microservice, but it's use of microservices to create a headless system. So if you see, even a Magento monolithic backend monolithic system could be 100% deployed headless, and the advantage could be taken out of it. What are the benefits of headless? So why is this word having so much of hype? What is the advantage of it? How is it going to help a customer or a business get more out of it? So the most important thing is all your touch points have use the same kind of API technology, making you agnostic of the front end technology that you want to use. So there is no constraint. You are not binded with any kind of a system. Tomorrow, let's say for scalability purpose, you want to move from Magento PWA to AEM, Adobe Experience Manager, for the front end quality. Let's say you now have more requirement for content provisioning and everything, and you want to move ahead. So it's just the head that you are moving. You are not going to redo all the technological structure behind it. You are not binded with the vendor. So vendor locking is not there. You can have different vendors to fulfill your requirements. Scalability, that's an important thing. So this, why I say scalability is an important thing. We all know scalability and performance is an important thing. Tomorrow, let's say in a physical world, you are having a POS system, but now the footprint is going less. So you can actually use the same backend to create a front end headless system, so that your people are actually getting more out of it. Future proof architecture, you can actually ensure that you are using a you are using an e-commerce solution as robust as Magento, and in front end maybe you can begin with something like Drupal if you want a content authoring to go there, or you can even go somewhere else, right? You can plan based on your requirement. There is no checks to it. I'll come to that, possible heads as well, and so on and so forth. The content, and because most of the enterprises, it's kind of an content driven commerce. That's another terminology: content driven commerce, experience driven commerce, headless commerce. Somewhere these all blends and make just one point: ensure your customer is getting the best experience irrespective of whatever touch point the customer comes from. Again, the advantage of headless commerce for merchants, as I said, you improve your conversion rates. You have a faster grow. You can grow fast and improve you have the rapid improvement in terms of how you can use different systems. In terms of developer or the SIs, you can actually have quick go to market time. Let's say if a customer wants to go live within 4 to 8 weeks of time and still want to have a mobile app, Magento PWA is the solution to go. So that way you are creating, and tomorrow if the end merchant wants a mobile app, you still have the option of converting that PWA into a mobile app using the same APIs. So you are not binding or not sticked with any technology in such. Parallel development, quick go to market, see split architecture, which is kind of which will help you in performance. And for shopper, it's again, whatever we are talking about is keeping the end customer in mind. So the idea here is that whichever touch point my customer comes from, whether it is online, whether it is offline, whether it is in retail, in store, whether he comes from Facebook store or comes from Instagram store, I have to give the same experience to my customer. And that is where I get a brand loyalty and I get some more conversion out of it. So now I'll come to the architectural side of it. And Miladi, please let me know if I overrun. Out of my excitement, I'll try to speed up, right? So see, these are the three prominent ways if I explain you that you can create your headless solution. So Magento is the core commerce engine. GraphQLs are some there which would feed any of these front ends, and then including the REST APIs. And then you have the third-party integrators or the third-party systems like ERP, CRM, DAM, pricing system, which will connect with Magento. So You have three possible solutions to create a headless solution. The first one is Magento PWA Studio, using which you can create a headless solution, which will work irrespective of your customer touch points, which you see on the top, which is web experience as social, IoT, or CMS. And the second one is Adobe Experience Manager, a much powerful tool by Adobe, which actually gives you a lot of content authoring. And if you are a company or an enterprise which is driven by content, that is the way to go. And the third one is custom. You can actually create your own native React front ends, or you can use some other solutions available in the market if you want to create those. So with PWA Studio, right? PWA Studio comes with Magento, and the beauty of it is that it's very fast. The benchmark 100 score on Google Lighthouse, right? And there are already some live working examples of Magento PWA being launched globally. And since it is native, it comes natively inbuilt with Magento. You get your go-to-market time becomes very fast because it is kind of interacted very much with it. The other one is Adobe Experience Manager, AEM. In this, basically, this is again another product from Adobe, more towards content authoring and content driven commerce. So in this case, you already have a feature called SIF connector, commerce integration framework, which is available open source on GitHub and can be used. And using the Adobe Analytics and Adobe Campaign, you can make a very powerful solution out of it. The third one, as I said, is a headless, custom headless. Could be any React framework that you can create in-house, or you can use third-party systems that are available, third-party PWA systems that are available. So one thing to notice in this case is the head changes, right? If you see very quickly all these slides, the head changes. Only the head changes. The GraphQL and the things below that remains as it is. I'll come to GraphQL. What is it, right? We have heard about it, and everyone is saying that it is going to power, or it's a very powerful solution. So GraphQL, if you read here, it improves the development timeline. It has got a lot of flexibility, and it improves performance. There are different product touch points which are already created in GraphQL, and you can even extend them in a very easy manner compared to what you used to do in case of REST APIs. So this is very layman explanation of GraphQL, right? So what is REST and what is GraphQL? So you go to a server for information, you ask the server with preset responses. You must go one by one in order. In case of GraphQL, it is kind of a sorted menu, right? You have everything on the table. You just need to pick and choose what you want, and then your lunch is ready, right? So it's kind of, I just try to put this picture to make it very easy to understand difference between REST and GraphQL. Coming back to Magento's ability as a headless solution. So as I said, Magento is a very powerful solution. We all know that. I don't have to preach about it. GraphQL and REST APIs are used for it. Adobe IO enables it to interact with all other Adobe products. We know the hyper performance capability of Magento with B2B and B2C stores. It can easily interact with the likes of Adobe Experience Manager, Adobe Target, Adobe Campaign, making it Adobe Analytics, making it what we call experience-driven commerce. The set of 4 products, if you use together, Adobe Experience Manager, Magento, Adobe Target, and Adobe Analytics, the set of these 4 products is what we call experience-driven commerce. I'm coming to the architecture. This is kind of a high level architecture diagram, which actually gives you the idea of how a headless system works. We have called out Drupal as an example over here. You see there are CRM, there is an ERP, there is a DAM system, there is a search mechanism which can be used. So this is a high level architecture diagram, as in how basically how basically a headless system works. And if you see the customer touch points in this case is from the is on the other side. Now coming to the other one, which is Adobe products. So with Adobe products, the experience-driven commerce. In experience-driven commerce, the customer touch point is AEM, Adobe Experience Manager, combined with the power of Adobe Analytics, Adobe Target, and Magento Commerce. You come up with a very powerful solution, which we call experience-driven commerce, and or let's say Adobe Commerce Cloud, and you are able to interact with all other third-party systems using it. So these are some of the high level integration methods, or let's say how you can use CMS as a front end and how different headless combinations could be. So based on the customer's requirement or the merchant's requirement, there are ways and means you can blend this technology to make it completely hybrid, completely headless commerce, or a hybrid commerce, and what goes into which phase. Uh, I think I'm running quickly towards my time, so I'll go very quick now.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
Vikrant, you can take a bit time.
yeah, okay, perfect. So if you see this one here, what we are trying to show is this is more of a deployment approaches, how you can do the deployment. So let's say if the front end is a native app, or let's say the front end is a single SSA, say SSP, single page application, right? So SPA, single page application. So this is kind of the deployment architecture that you see. What are the pros of it? What are the cons of it? So and you, during these slides, basically I'll show you how basically a completely headless commerce works, what are their advantage, how does a completely commerce system works, advantage, disadvantage, and what is the hybrid system works. So coming to this example, let's say if the content is driving the commerce, right? If the content is is the prime factor, wherein there are a lot of things that that the consumer wants to first learn, understand before going to the sales cycle. That is where we do it. We call it as a CMS-led architecture. In this architecture, basically, your content is driving the commerce system. Commerce stays there, but it's not the uh, prime driving engine. The customer is being brought by the content. This is the hybrid model. Most of the websites you might have seen uh, which people say is a headless is mostly a hybrid website till now. So what happens is homepage is, let's say, AEM or PWA page or any other page or any other technology that they are building upon. So this is a hybrid model. When on the product landing page, is again a hybrid wherein you are using content from the AEM, and the CMS and the products are coming from the Magento side. And as soon as the add to cart and checkout journey begins, Magento comes in front and the commerce journey begins. So this is a very common use case that I have seen in market so far. There are different pros for it. There are different cons for it. You have to actually maintain two different systems. You have to actually have sometime it have some URL redirection issues, and so on and so forth. But yeah, this is the most common which I have seen so far. Again, the division is like homepage and landing page is on AEM, and the other one are on Magento. The product, the cart, the journeys are on Magento. And this is the very common, all of us know this, we all do this, which is commerce led. No CMS is very small part of it. Maybe we will use a custom CMS for it, or maybe use a page builder for it. But yeah, CMS led is something we all do day in, day out. So as I was saying, Magento being a very powerful solution, it can integrate with any of these front-end technologies to give you the headless commerce. And all these happens via the help of GraphQLs and APIs. I'll quickly rush through last few slides, which will talk about experience-driven commerce and how Adobe and Magento, or let's say the Adobe Commerce Cloud or Magento Commerce Cloud, is making an experience-driven commerce. So in an experience driven commerce, It's a blend, as I said, it's a blend of Adobe products wherein you have got Adobe AEM, Adobe Target, Adobe Analytics, and Magento. All of these blended together wherein you get a lot of recommendations from Adobe Target. You are actually seeing the customer behavior using Adobe Analytics, and Magento is doing the commerce part, AEM is doing the CMS part. So that way you are giving a complete solution, understanding the customer's need, creating the personalized experience for them, giving the personalized requirements to them, and then fulfilling their needs using the inherited Adobe Sensei layers and managed services that comes with this solution. So as I was saying, the experience driven headless commerce, the headless, you can create either of this headless, hybrid, full experience, off-site experience, which is kind of POS systems or the mobile apps. And then there are the layers. These are the layers. So Adobe Experience Manager is the layer which actually creates the front-end touch points. Then you have Commerce Integration Framework, which is actually an integration framework created between Magento and AEM. And then you have Magento Commerce, fulfilling all the needs that that your customer needs from the ecosystem, from Magento as a commerce system, and obviously fulfilled by Adobe Sensei, which I know my friend Misha was earlier in this day talking about how Adobe Sensei has evolved. What are the future roadmap? If you have not heard his session, please do hear him out. You will get to know a lot of about how Adobe Sensei is going to evolve in time to come. So again, as I say, who should be using Adobe Experience Driven Commerce? Who should be going with a hybrid model, or who should just be on the commerce track? So these are the three basic journeys for a merchant that a merchant needs to understand. So let's say someone who is kind of a new starter or getting into business, is not someone who should straight away go and start implementing experience driven commerce. Cost is a factor, time is a factor. You should start with the core commerce. Once you have your core commerce set up and running, once you are getting more insights, once you know more insights about your customer, once you want to do more into personalization, then you should go to the next step, which is experience insight. That is where you get more value from your system. And then once you have evolved into an enterprise like a customer, then you go into the immersely experience driven commerce, wherein you are actually touching the customer in all his touch points and delivering what he really needs to deliver, which he really needs based on his personalized experience. I think with that, yes, I'm on time, Maladi, just 2 minutes
Okay,
over.
okay. All right, good, good. I have two questions from the audience for you. So
Yes.
the first one, what is any disadvantage that you can tell of using headless system?
What is the end?
No, disadvantage.
Disadvantage of using headless system? i
Yes.
i don't see any disadvantage, especially at this time. Maybe I would say that if we were in 6 to 8 months before where we are today, seeing the geo environmental situations wherein we all are stuck in our home, I think headless is the way to go. And I'll give you a very good example, very quick example. A few weeks back, I went into Decathlon. Just wanted to buy some. You know, now we are always in pajamas. I dressed up for this thing,
Mhm.
so so.
And it's just the top part.
No, I literally I wanted to feel this event, so I literally dressed up today. So we went ahead there. Earlier we used to go, we used to select pajamas or anything, whatever we wanted. We used to put in cart and come to the checkout place. But now what they have done is they have created a POS system wherein what you can do is you can select anything. You can just scan the barcode there and right there itself, right? You can select the colors, add the product to cart, and choose the product. So you are add into your cart yourself, choose the product yourself, and then at the counter, just show them that you have done the checkout payment. So see, this kind of enhancement. So what Decathlon did here is, which I am not vouching them as a user case, but I'm just telling from my own understanding is that
Mhm.
they quickly created a front end system, which was on top of their backend head, which was already working there, right? So very quickly
Mm-hmm.
they were able to create a head, which is kind of a headless commerce. And now this headless commerce is enabling them to do a touch-free kind of a sales for their customer. So personally, I don't see any disadvantage of headless. The biggest advantage is you are not hostage to any front-end solution. You are not binded with the same commerce. Tomorrow, let's say your commerce is not behaving properly. Your front end is excellent. You can quickly change your commerce engine. You don't. I don't say that you have always to change your front end engine, right? So that way, you are not actually revamping or redoing the complete 360 degree of your business. Rather, let's say it's just like one part of the car is not working. Can I replace it with something else, and will my car still work? That's what headless is.
Okay, great, great, great. I hope the audience get the answer that you want on that. I think the second one, this is I think a little bit too technical. I'm probably gonna redirect him to ask you by messaging you on the direct message chat directly to get an answer with you, Vikrant.
Absolutely.
He's asking about topology and all this very detailed stuff, right?
No, yeah, uh,
I
yeah,
think
that
that's
would
going to
be.
be a very long discussion.
Yes, 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 yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, I will do that. For Andy, you can later on you can reach Vikrant on the chat. He is available there. You can actually ask him directly on the very detailed question that about the server and stuff related to this. Okay, I think that's it, Vikrant. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
I
Muladi. It
really
was
appreciate
great
it.
meeting
I'll
you, all of
see you
you.
around.
Sure.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.